The 49ers are down to just 3 healthy defensive ends in their entire building after Trevis Gipson, who was out of practice squad elevations for the 49ers, signed to the Carolina Panthers active roster. And San Francisco's traveling to New York this weekend. The Giants have a defensive end who's having a career year, who might just be a perfect fit to solve a lot of the 49ers' problems. That is Kayvon Thibodeaux. My pie-in-the-sky goal for the 49ers is to not take off from Newark Liberty International Airport on Sunday evening without Thibodeaux on the plane, ahead of the trade deadline, which is exactly a week from now on November 4th. Now, according to Mike Garafolo, the Giants have rebuffed teams asking about Thibodeaux's availability, but the 49ers are in the very unique position of being able to change the Giants' mind, not just through the size of an offer to New York, but by kicking their ass on the field Sunday. The Giants, they're already 2-6. The season seems lost. Cam Skattebo, very unfortunately, the 49ers fan from Rio Linda, Sacramento area, Cam Skattebo dislocated his ankle against the Eagles on Sunday, a game in which the Giants defense allowed not 1, but 2 100-yard rushers. Malik Neighbors already done for the year. The 49ers can walk into the Meadowlands on Sunday, administer a whooping on the Giants, and maybe they're going to have Brock Purdy back to try to do that against the bad defense. The Giants would be 2-7. Might not be a bad idea for them to part with Kayvon Thibodeaux if they can get quite a bit of draft capital in return. They already drafted Abdul Carter this past cycle. So the rookie out of Penn State's doing some work for them. Now, Thibodeaux has got another year left on his contract, which is incentive potentially for the Giants to keep him. It's also incentive, though, for the 49ers to trade for him since they want somebody who helps them this year and also next year. I talk about how bad this New York run defense is. Thibodeaux's the only one playing good run defense on that team, it seems. It's the highest run defense grade of his career. But the Southern California native, the Oregon Duck, boy, the fact that he is playing good run defense, that's the one thing that the 49ers defense has done consistently well this season. The fact that he's delivering in that way, the fact that he's been racking up pressures. He had a double-digit sack year a couple years ago. Well, the 49ers badly need to bolster that edge position. We're going to be keeping a close eye on the trade market. And this one just so happens, the timing to be funny. Because I mentioned Kayvon Thibodeaux as soon as Nick Bosa went down with the ACL tear. He was the first guy that I threw out there, right? Trey Hendrickson has been somebody that everybody's talking about a lot. But I thought that Kayvon Thibodeaux, just given the Abdul Carter presence in New York, given the fact that the Giants are now clearly sliding, and given the fact that the 49ers are playing them on Sunday, is something to obviously pay attention to. Unfortunately, right now, teams around the league are thinking a similar thing. They're calling up the Giants about Kayvon Thibodeaux. The Giants are saying no, but there still is one more game ahead of that trade deadline, and the 49ers have the unique opportunity of influencing the Giants through play on the field, through going out there and beating the brakes off the Giants and maybe pushing them closer into sell mode. Wouldn't it be great theater if that all worked out? You know, you can also convince the Giants by offering more in return for Kayvon Thibodeaux. And I know that the 49ers are in a position where, you know, just like any team should be, you should be careful about what you spend. But there's one really important piece of information that might encourage the 49ers to spend a little bit more here. And it's a look at how they've acquired every single above-average pass rusher under Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. There have been 7 of them, and I'm putting them up on the screen right now. Bosa, Ford, Kerry Hyder, Arden Key, Charles Omenihu, Chase Young, and Bryce Huff. 6 of those 7 have come to the 49ers not via the NFL draft. They've come via either free agent signing or trade. D Ford, trade in 2019. Charles Omenihu, trade in 2021. Chase Young, trade in 2023. Bryce Huff, trade just this season. So I think a lot of people scowl at the trade market and they say, oh, well, that's just a rental. It's not going to be worth it. The bottom line is that the 49ers have only, outside of Nick Bosa, acquired positive edge rushing play through the trade market or the free agent market. And obviously the free agent market's going to be much tougher to navigate right now. It's hard to find a competent edge rusher on the street. Hey, Kerry Hyder Jr., one of the names that I listed, that was a free agent pickup, albeit in the offseason. But the point here is simple, that sometimes you have to go out and spend through an avenue that isn't necessarily known as the most efficient to get players at premium positions. And the 49ers are coming off of an absolute edge rushing disaster in Houston. And it's been, Bryce Huff has held this thing together with scotch tape and a little bit of glue. But he wasn't available. He's not going to be available this weekend. Maybe the 49ers can play ball control to beat the New York Giants soundly. They're favored to win, so maybe they can get away with the fact that they're a complete bare bones at the edge rusher position right now. A little bit later today, I would expect some tryout news for the 49ers. Maybe they'll get Yetur Gross-Matos back this week, but even that's a tenuous thing. He was on a pitch count before he exited with the hamstring injury. So I think where I stand on this issue. I think that the 49ers owe it to the locker room to be aggressive. I think that there are ways to ensure that whatever moves you make help you beyond this season, even if that player isn't necessarily under contract beyond this season. I do think that from a cultural standpoint, from a confidence standpoint, from just trying to qualify for a playoff game this season, from that standpoint, you could give immeasurable boost to these rookies and these young players by just by virtue of qualifying for the postseason, so they could get that playoff experience this year. I think that there's so many good reasons for San Francisco to make moves to bolster what has been a really, really weak edge rushing room minus Nick Bosa and Bryce Huff. They didn't hit C.J. Stroud until after the 2-minute warning of the first half in Houston. They made C.J. Stroud look like Tom Brady, and he's not a very good quarterback. That was unacceptable from the 49ers against the Texans on Sunday. But big picture, and this is so important to remember, we got this nice view right now. Big picture is that the 49ers are favored to move to 6-3. And, forget 6-3, just say 5-3. 5-3 over the first 8, that exceeds expectations, even minus the injuries. Like, I was thinking, and I wasn't the only one at the start of the season, that the 4-4, starting 500, entering this game against New York, with all the youth that the 49ers had on the defensive side of the ball, I thought that would be fine for San Francisco. That would be about the baseline level of expectation, and then they could turn on the Jets moving past this week, past the halfway point. Second half of the season, the young guys have some experience built up, and everything is good for the 49ers. So the fact that they're a game ahead of that projection at 5-3, despite the fact that they've, there have been so many more injuries than anybody could have anticipated, the fact that they're a game ahead is, quite frankly, you could say miraculous, but it's really, really damn impressive for the 49ers. So give them some credit there, because this team is ahead of preseason projections despite injuries being way, way ahead of preseason projections. And very ironically, the margin that has gotten the 49ers to 5-3 instead of 4-4 or something worse than that is special teams. Like, special teams has given the 49ers their biggest plus of the year. So, I mean, they're in very, very enviable position record-wise, given the adversity that they've hit. And that's a testament to what they're getting out of all three phases of the game. It's been better than expected given the circumstances for the 49ers. But the defense is in danger of free falling because they've hit that critical mass of injuries up front in the pass rush, which is why I think that you owe it to the locker room to at least band-aid this situation, because there's so much parity in this league. You just got to give yourself a chance, and you don't give yourself a chance if the bottom is dropping out of the defense. But you guys know my stance on the trades. I'm just here to bring you the news. 49ers down to those 3 healthy edge rushers as we speak. One of them is William Bradley King. I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but he's on the practice squad because Trevis Gipson, he would run out of practice squad elevation. So it was either call up Trevis Gipson full-time, like promote him full-time to the 53. The 49ers obviously didn't want to do that. Maybe they're saving a spot for somebody else. We'll see as this week progresses and as transactions start to come in. But it was either that or let him sign with another team if another team wanted him on their 53. and he's headed to the Carolina Panthers. Sam Okawanu is day-to-day, so I don't count him as one of the healthy three for the 49ers. It is Mykel Williams, who right at this point of his career is a run stopper and a pocket pusher. He's a nice edge-setting presence, but he's not a one-on-one take-over-the-game kind of guy. And Robert Beal Jr., who obviously has got a lot of physical traits, but has yet to harness those into big-time sack production. So Williams, Beal, William Bradley King. Maybe Yetur Gross-Matos is back on a pitch count at some point soon, but the 49ers need more in that building. There's no way to sugarcoat it.
Well, you guys know me. I train regularly. I have to, so I could do all my swims in the San Francisco Bay to Alcatraz and back. And I've got to fuel myself properly in order to accomplish all of this. Well, it's important to ingest the right protein. That's why I'm so excited to team up with Transparent Labs, because their grass-fed whey protein isolate has made it really easy for me to hit my protein goals in a clean and healthy way. Trust me, this stuff works. After Transparent Labs sent me some to try for the course of a few weeks, I was really feeling a difference in my strength and the fuel necessary to not only attack the weight room, but also attack the water. And you know what? The best part about this is the variety, because personally, I get sick of having the same thing day after day. This protein comes in 14 delicious natural flavors. I can easily switch it up when I feel like having something new. And you can be confident that what's on the label is exactly the same as what's in your shaker, because Transparent Labs protein is third-party tested and informed choice certified. If you'd like to try the Transparent Labs grass-fed protein yourself, well, you're in luck. Just hop down into the description, click on the link, or scan the QR code right on the screen. Transparent Labs is giving away a free protein starter pack right now. 5 different flavor samples in that pack. Trust me, check it out. You will be very, very happy with the quality of this product, and you'll be happy with the diversity of flavors. QR code on the screen, link in the description. Make sure you check it out.
Nice view of the city. Downtown, Hyde Street, my reflection in the window. Got to look over there to the Pacific Heights. I mean, it is a sun-splashed day. Just wait till you see the Golden Gate Bridge on the other side.
All right, guys, injuries from yesterday. Sam O with an ankle, he'll be day-to-day. Jordan Elliott, ankle, day-to-day. D. Winters, knee, day-to-day. Alfred Collins, shoulder, day-to-day. And Mac Jones, knee contusion, day-to-day. Go ahead, guys.
Kyle, do you know if you guys are going to open the window for Brandon tomorrow or Wednesday?
Ben Bartz, we're expecting to open up his window on Wednesday. And that's it.
Kyle, are you any closer to getting Ricky Pearsall back on the field?
I hope so. I'm sure he's doing better this week than last week, but still haven't been told that he'll for sure be back. We'll have to evaluate that when we get to Wednesday.
And same thing for Brock. How is he doing? Do you expect him, or is it a long shot for him to play in New York?
I think it's too early to say. I don't think it's a long shot, but I know he's doing better. And we'll see how he's doing Wednesday. Hopefully, if he's doing good, he'll get in some reps.
You've said in the past that you don't usually take playing surface into account when it comes to having a guy being ready or not. Does that hold true for Brock and MetLife?
Yes.
Kyle, before you left on Friday, you'd said that there was a chance that Brandon would have the window open. Was there just a feeling that he's just not ready yet, or what kind of feedback have you gotten about that?
No, I think it's week to week from here on out that he's got a chance. I mean, I think it would have surprised me if it was this week, but that was just me saying that. Every week, I think he's getting closer to having a chance. Just not this week.
When D. Winters left the game, a lot of us expected that Nick Martin would come in. Where is Nick in that pecking order? And If D couldn't go against the Giants, would Nick be in the mix?
He's behind Curtis in that pecking order. If he couldn't go versus the Giants, it depends on how these 3 practices go. So he's gotten a lot more opportunities, being able to be up for game week these last 2 weeks. He's done real good on special teams. So I think he's coming along fine. If D can't practice, we'll see how he does in these 3 days.
Kyle, Mac Jones was saying after the game, he was saying I can live with post snap mistakes. Like if there's a drop or I don't throw a good pass, but if I'm not looking in the right spot or people running the wrong route, then you got no chance. Were there a lot of instances of mental errors against Houston, or was it mostly just getting beat physically?
No, I think there was definitely mental errors. I don't think not a lot more than usual or anything like that, but in that type of game, every single play was a huge deal, just with the lack of number of plays and stuff like that. So I think any mistakes that were made were extremely magnified.
Kyle, how did you feel like everybody on defenses, their effort to the ball was after looking at the film?
I thought their effort to the ball was good.
Where did you feel like the breakdowns were on defense?
A number of them. Dropped a guy in man coverage on that 50-yard check down. Can't hug up on the quarterback. Got to stay under guy in man. And a number of our pressures, they just didn't get home. He got it up quick on I want to say, completed about 5 slants in the game. Their 30-yard touchdown, he just beat man coverage. It was just a one-on-one route and beat the guy one-on-one and then ran away from him. So those would be the biggest ones with the explosives, I believe. Anybody there? Anything else?
Kyle, how is Jawan Jennings' health? I know he's kind of battled through a lot of injuries this year, but where is he at now? Is it affecting him still on the field?
Yeah, Jawan's been banged up all year, so I think he's better now than he was 2 weeks ago, but by no means is he 100%. I know he's still dealing with an ankle. His ribs linger for a while. His shoulder also, but probably more the ankle than anything. But he's getting better each week. I don't think he had a setback yesterday, none that I've heard. But he's been battling every week to get out there.
As far as Gipson, does his elevations reset after you guys released him and then we signed him to the practice squad, or is he out of elevations at this point?
No, he's out of elevations.
Well, he's been a pretty key member of the defense in recent weeks. How are you guys going to handle that defensive end spot?
What happens when you have 7 injured guys who aren't on IR not playing, or 6, I think it was last week. So hopefully you get some of those back, and if you don't, you got to figure out how to get them up and cause someone else a job. So that's kind of what we're dealing with every week here, with just the number of guys that are hurt who aren't on IR becomes a roster issue. But that's kind of the stuff we try to see and how it plays out with these guys we're waiting on who are day to day.
Are both Jake Brendel and Bryce Huff likely to be out this week again?
Yes. I'm not guaranteeing it yet, but pretty unlikely.
Kyle, with DeMarcus Robinson, just what have you seen from him since he's been back, and how much did missing those first 3 games kind of affect what he's been able to do?
Yeah, I thought it took him a little bit just to get back to where he was at the end of training camp. So just, being away for that long, and definitely set him back some, but I do think he's getting back there. I thought he did some good things yesterday.